must have seen your smile 1,000 times by now, but the smile you now wear is not the same somehow. I tried to find you, get inside you. You're like a flower that won't unfold and let the sun shine. It's too late now to cry. Those tears are from a broken heart. I spent too many years in love with you. I tried to fake it, but I wasn't very good. You couldn't help me, but you always understood. Well, now I'm a writer of song and dance, and in my life I've learned to leave it up to chance. It's too late now to cry. Those tears are from a broken heart. I spent too many years in love with you. In love with you. Well, hello there. Jay here. Thanks for joining me on another journey this week. I wrote that song in 1979, I think. It's probably 19, 20 years old. And at that time in my life, I was going through, I was influenced a lot by, on the pop charts, by James Taylor, Billy Joel. I was listening to a lot of jazz or fusion music, as they call it. And I wrote a lot of love songs. That was kind of a thing that was on my mind a lot when I was young. Imagine that. Anyway, the purpose of me telling you that is, and feel free to critique my song, send in comments or whatever. And it seems now to me, in retrospect, a little bit sophomoric and kind of fluffy, but I don't know. I still have a soft spot in my heart for some of the old songs that I've written, and I just thought I'd throw it out there, play that for you this week. I kind of wanted to talk this week about momentary acceptance as a topic, but before I get full-fledged into that, I want to I want to entice people to start doing and pursuing your passions. I'm 60 years old, and I just started doing this YouTube channel, and I kept thinking to myself, what do I have to offer anybody in entertainment value, or am I relevant to I think I might be relevant to other 60-year-olds, but am I relevant to anybody younger than that? I don't know. But the topics that I talk about, I think, are relevant at any stage in your life. If you can get some of these things earlier than I did, maybe it can change the course of your life in a very great positive direction somehow. And the thing that has always crippled me in the past was fear. When I was younger, I was really paralyzed by fear when I think about it. And it was a fear of failure. And I wish I had been more outgoing and aggressive in pursuing my passions, my career in music, etc. You got to be able to put up with a lot of discomfort, I think, if you're going to go for things like that. But if your passion is strong enough, the discomfort, you don't notice it as much as you're pursuing it. But when I think back on things like that, I think that's kind of like a morbid reflection, as they say, and it's kind of a waste of time. So I don't really want to do. We don't want to go there. Anyway, my my topic, momentary acceptance. I got to thinking about it because, as I've talked about before. And before I go into that, I do want to say I have two really good friends that are kind of inspirational today, especially. Tonight is going to be an open mic night at a little coffee house called Solid Grounds. And the senior discounts are going to go do a couple of songs there. We're going to do a 2-hour show down there, February 21st, I think it is. It's on a Friday night. And a couple of my friends, Tom and Eddie, are going to, for the first time, play in public down there tonight. And they're both retired. They're both north of 60. And Tom didn't touch a musical instrument or sing or play anything. He picked up guitar until about a year ago. And it all kind of started from a camping trip. And I brought a couple of guitars on we have an Old Goats camping trip, we call it. And I brought a couple of guitars, and we just sat around the campfire that night, and I played a few songs and played, and I think I showed Tom how to play a G chord on the guitar or something. And he became kind of interested, and lo and behold, I don't know, a couple months later, he was posting pictures of the new guitar he bought, and I went with him to a couple of music stores to kind of go through some beginner guitars and, see what he might like to play, what he felt he could play. And so a year has gone by, and Eddie always played guitar and sang a little, but both of them are going to sing tonight and play in front of a live audience for their first time. I think it might not be Eddie's first time, but I'm sure it's Tom's. And I'm so proud of them because it's a scary thing, but they're north of 60. I think when you get older too, you get a little less scared because you got less to lose. Your ego gets diminished over the years, crushed down by life. Children will do that to you, and spouses. Anyway, so I'm really proud of them. They're going to play there tonight. But the idea, now I'll get back to the momentary acceptance idea. My daughter comes over in the mornings for coffee, and she's in her mid-30s, and her husband and her children are teenagers, and life is very busy and complicated for them, and they're trying to, they have aspirations of getting into a bigger house and, building a business together, and a lot of things that they're doing that are going on, and it's wonderful. But like me too, doing the same thing a lot of times, sometimes we want things to go. I have a plan in the morning. The old saying is, I make a plan and then God laughs. That's very, very true, because you just don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next in your plan, and things don't always work out according to your plan. And that's where you have to practice momentary acceptance. And what I mean by it it's just what it sounds like. You have to accept things the way they are in the moment. And it will bring you peace. It'll bring you, it'll get rid of a lot of anxiety if you can learn how to do that. And so I thought about, another word comes up a lot of times that people have used, and I kind of don't like it. It's got a negative connotation, is people say, I have to surrender to the moment or whatever. Well, I don't like to think of it as a battle. I think of it as I am assenting or giving assent to my will in the moment. That's a positive action rather than surrender. Sounds like a defeat of some kind. What I am doing is I am assenting my will for, in my belief, the will of God. You might say to the situation at hand. Assent your will to the situation. Or it could be, some people might say it's just, some kind of divine providence. Another phrase comes to mind that when you're struggling with that, this too shall pass. a very common phrase by a lot of philosophers. And I really get that. That means that this moment's going to pass. And, it might be a struggling moment, or it might be a hard time, it might be a bad day. You might be tired. If you're tired, my best advice is, if you're tired, go take a nap. Find a way to get some rest or rejuvenate in some way. Take a time out. Take 15 minutes to go just sit and close your eyes and be still and not think and put everything out of your mind. Become present in your life. Some people use hypnosis, or focusing on an object, or just looking around at your environment and not having any judgment to the things that are in front of you. Just kind of look at them, and go outside and look at some flowers and the beauty of the world or something. I know it sounds kind of like blowing sunshine, but still, this works. This helps with anxiety, and with it gives you inner peace. And really, that's what we really want. We want to have peace. We want to be reconciled with the busyness of the world in some way, somehow. And the way I know how to do that is to practice what I call momentary acceptance. Just accept things for the way they are at the moment. If a deal falls through, you're trying to make a big deal, a real estate deal, a sales deal, whatever the deal might be, and if it's falling through, just accept it for now. It doesn't have to mean the end all of everything. I've failed so many times in my life. I went and auditioned to get into colleges, into music programs, and got denied. And I've done, I've had bad performances. I remember one time getting kicked out of a club because we were a rock band in a hillbilly country club or whatever it was, and they didn't like loud, distorted guitars and drums pounding like crazy. Wasn't their cup of tea. So that happens, you're in the wrong situation or whatever. It doesn't have to be detrimental to your pursuit. It was just a situation. Just accept that situation, move on. It's okay. Some things nowadays, with all of the technology we have available, some negative things can follow you through your reputation online or whatever that is. Some things like that you just can't control. You can try to fight back in some way. I guess you can get on there and try to repair that stuff or whatever. That's kind of a new existence in the world that I didn't grow up in that world. A lot of young people are growing up in this world, and they know how to deal with it better because they don't know any different. So a lot of the things we put out here on the internet and the web, they can last forever. And I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing here now. This is, a new endeavor for me, and it's slowly growing. I hope that you will all, if you have something on your mind you want to comment, go ahead and send it to me. I'm okay with it. Any critique my song if you want, that's fine. I'd love to hear from you. I like the interaction with people. It will help me grow if there's constructive criticism on there of something that might help me do better. If you want to hear of some particular topic that you think I might have a perspective on, I'd be happy to share that with you. If it's something I don't know anything about, I probably won't do it because I won't have anything to offer on that topic, maybe. But if it's music, if it's a question about, I don't want it to be like Dear Abby or anything, because I'm not qualified for that either. Some of you youngsters may not know what Dear Abby is, so it's okay. Anyway, I'm grateful for all the likes, all the subscriptions, all the comments. Keep them coming. I hope this little was somewhat entertaining this week, and maybe you can start thinking about momentary acceptance in your life when you're in the heat of a moment. Maybe those words will ring. The words "this too shall pass" can ring through your brain, and you'll just take a deep breath, and it'll be good. Everything will be good again. So, thank you again. Have a great week. I'll be posting every Saturday morning. So, thank you. There we go. I'll play this out.